Joining us now to talk more about this statement and the pledge is one of the bishops who helped create it, the Shepherd of Brooklyn, Bishop Robert Brennan. Hi, Bishop.
Hi, Christine. How are you?
Good. So, Bishop, we've been following the stories of ICE raids across the country and hearing from immigrants here in the U.S. who are living in fear. So this statement is timely, but what's the point of it? What are you and other New York bishops hoping will come of it?
Well, actually, there are a couple of things that we have in mind. One is a message to the immigrant community itself, to our parishioners. These are people who are our parishioners. They're very much a part of the life of the church. So it's a message of hope and accompaniment. It's a promise, a pledge to stand firm together, word of encouragement. The interesting thing is you speak about the fear that's there, and that's true. But God bless the people of God. They rise up above the fear, and I give them a lot of credit. So that's one thing. The other thing is really a pledge of solidarity for all of the community that we stand together. And then it's a gospel message. It's a teaching of the gospel. It's a reminder of the teachings of the Lord about basic human dignity that we all share because it's a gift given by God, and that we are created in the image and likeness of God. So, you know, it's. I think it's a very balanced statement. It's an attempt really to recognize some of the challenges that the government and the administration faces. There's no denying that some of the problems that are taking place in terms of crime, these are very big concerns of ours as well. So I recognize it. We recognize that there's really irresponsibility all around, and that the present administration inherited a whole bunch of problems from the past. And that the way things were when people were living in shelters in Brooklyn and Queens and all over the country, and when there was a lot of human trafficking and things like that, that wasn't a good situation either. So we try to recognize that. We also make a point of recognizing the dignity of the law enforcement officers. As you see some of the different protests taking place, there's peaceful witness in some places, but there's also violence and inappropriate kind of behavior, and that is wrong as well. So I think this statement, one, is balanced in that it tries to recognize the challenges that everybody faces, but it calls forth that human dignity for everyone. And the other thing is that it's rooted in the gospel. I love the idea of releasing it today on the feast of St. Francis Cabrini, and the idea of referencing that mural in the back of St. Patrick's.
Absolutely. To further clarify the bishop's position, they're not opposing the deportation of criminals. In fact, they support that. Where then should compassion be directed instead?
Compassion should be directed. It's not even. I'd say compassion, but again, that basic respect for human dignity that goes across the board to everybody, including the criminal. So yes, if there are criminal actions, have criminal consequences, but even there, we have to treat people with dignity and respect. And then I think that for us, what we want to do is show solidarity with our own neighbors. One of the concerns that we have, we haven't seen mass deportations here in this part of the country. I'm afraid that we might start to see some of it now as things get a little hot in terms of the politics in New York City and New York State. But we see, and we're very concerned about people who are doing what they're supposed to do, people who are given a certain status. And you can argue about the validity of doing that in the past, but those are people who are here in good faith, and they're doing what they're supposed to do. They're going to show up for their court dates. I think particularly of the Haitians, Venezuelans, and Nicaraguans, people who are really fleeing violence and persecution, were given the status. And then when that's revoked, all of a sudden, people who are here in good faith are now in a new category, and people, some of these people and others are sometimes we're hearing stories of people being arrested right as they appear for their court dates. Those are things that concern us. Again, I really do believe we had a statement also of the U.S. Conference of Bishops this week that came out yesterday. We had prepared this a couple of weeks ago and timed it for St. Francis Cabrini. But, in that statement, in the USCCB statement, we said that we recognize all of the needs, and we want to, there is a way that law and order and human dignity can come together. And that's something that we're advocating. That's the real crux of the matter, that the concerns of both sides of the argument are not mutually exclusive.
Right. Now, this is also a call to action. You're asking Catholics to take the Cabrini Pledge to stand with migrants. We'd like to go through that pledge with you right now. Are you ready?
Sure.
Okay. To affirm in word and deed the inherent dignity of every person, to engage with Scripture and the Church's social teaching, to listen and learn about the circumstances facing migrants and refugees, to seek opportunities for encounter, to consider what it means to be a good neighbor, to encourage civic dialogue that places the human person and the sanctity of families at the center of policymaking, and to join with Pope Leo in praying for all migrants and refugees. So what does this pledge mean for you?
Well, first, let me give some credit for it. This is something that's been on the USCCB site from the Committee on Migration. But Bishop DiMarzio is the one who really called our attention to it for all the bishops of New York. And really, the point is, you can look at a statement and you can feel good about yourself for making a statement or reading a statement. But people will say, okay, well, what concretely can I do? Many of us feel powerless in terms of politics. How do I change the situation? And these are concrete steps that anybody can take. That is part of building up that culture of mutual encounter and respect.
The statement and the pledge put together by New York bishops talks about the idea of Christian charity when it comes to immigration. What can we learn from Mother Cabrini?
Well, I mean, talk about Christian charity. She came this way to work with the poorest. She herself faced all kinds of obstacles and even persecution. What she did is what Mother Teresa would have done a century later. She would look into the eyes of people and see the face of Jesus Christ. And I think she can teach us that to recognize the face of Jesus Christ in everyone, and then to do what can be done. Again, here's another woman with very limited resources, but she had the ability to call others into solidarity and into action, and she accomplished a whole lot by the end of her life and ministry.
Yeah, we could certainly learn a lot from her. Bishop Robert Brennan, thanks so much for being with us today.
Thank you.
So if you want to take the Cabrini Pledge yourself, just pull out your phone right now and scan this QR code. That'll bring you right to the pledge page where you can read it in full and sign up. Plus, you can find more resources to take further actions. We'll repeat this page again at the end of the newscast. Hi, I'm Christine Persichette, anchor of Currents News. If you like what you saw, please hit the like button on this video. And if you want to see more content just like it, subscribe and click on the bell for notifications. Thanks for watching, because we are putting your faith in the news.